Donald Trump's been promising major trade action since he took office 10 weeks ago, and now he's announced sweeping reciprocal tariffs in an attempt to revive US industry and return America to what he calls its golden age. But in doing so, many experts say it risks sparking a global trade war as countries retaliate with countermeasures.
This is Liberation Day, waiting for a long time.
The US president made his announcement in the White House Rose Garden at an event billed at Make America Wealthy Again. Different rates will apply to different countries, and Washington's allies haven't been spared. In his executive order, there'll be a minimum baseline tariff of 10%, with that rate applying to Australian exports to the market. Mr. Trump calls it one of the most important days in American history.
It's our declaration of economic independence. For years, hardworking American citizens were forced to sit on the sidelines as other nations got rich and powerful, much of it at our expense. But now it's our turn to prosper, and in so doing, use trillions and trillions of dollars to reduce our taxes and pay down our national debt, and it'll all happen very quickly.
Let's go to North America, where our correspondent Carrington Clark joins us from Washington. Carrington, how impactful will these tariffs be on the global economy?
Well, the US president was promising a big announcement, and what he's announced today promises to upend the trade orthodoxy that the world has lived in for decades. The United States, the single biggest economy in the world for a country, is effectively putting up barriers, isolating itself really from other international countries, other countries who it does international trade with. This has major ramifications for global growth. The most immediate impact will be that Americans will pay more for imported goods. 10% on all imports into the United States. And this is a scary prospect for Americans who have only just come out on the other side of what was at one point four-decade high inflation here in the United States. And this potentially will mean that the Federal Reserve here in the United States may have to look at interest rate settings if we see inflation start to build. Now, Donald Trump says that this has multi-effects on the US economy. He's looking for more revenue, tax revenue, to be collected when imports come into the United States. He says that's going to raise trillions of dollars. He also says it will force companies to produce more in the United States, and then he says that will eventually lead to lower prices. Now, many economists disagree with that prognosis, instead saying that this will only force up prices higher. It puts pressure on other countries. What is the appropriate response? Do you try to take on Donald Trump directly? Do you put up trade barriers of your own in order to force him back to the negotiating table? Or do you do what some other countries seem to be suggesting and just say, we're not going to be involved in tit-for-tat retaliation with Donald Trump, and instead what we're going to do is try to build relationships with other countries, form new trading relationships to offset any loss of market access that you have here in the United States. This is a high-stakes political decision by Donald Trump. He says for decades he has believed that America has been ripped off by adversaries and allies alike. He likes to say that tariffs are one of his favourite words in the English dictionary, and he is going full throttle on putting up these barriers to completely reshape the way the American economy works. The test for him politically will be if the pain that Americans feel when they go to buy products in the coming weeks, months and years is more painful than any benefit they might see in terms of jobs returning to the United States if you actually do see manufacturing, for example, come back to the United States. And that's obviously a longer term consequence. The most immediate impact is going to be on higher prices. Donald Trump has just been returned to his second term of office. He's only still freshly reinstalled. He can't go for re-election, but this may well be his legacy on the line, and his popularity will be key when it comes to those midterm elections next year.